Speaking with confidence is one of the most powerful skills you can ever learn. It can change how people see you, how you see yourself, and the opportunities that come your way. Most people feel nervous when they talk in front of others. Their hands shake, their voice breaks, and their mind goes blank. But here's the truth. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you can build, step by step, day by day. And once you learn how to stay calm, how to control your mind, and how to speak with clarity, you will never fear speaking in public again. In this audiobook, you will learn how to stay relaxed, speak clearly, and express yourself with confidence, anytime, anywhere. If you want to speak like a leader, stay fearless in front of people, and unlock the confident version of yourself, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding fear and why you get nervous. Most people feel nervous when they speak in front of others. It does not matter if they are young or old. It does not matter if they are students, workers, or even successful adults. Almost everyone feels fear inside their chest the moment all eyes turn toward them. Their heart beats faster. Their throat feels dry. Their hands shake. Their mind becomes blurry. They feel like something bad will happen if they make a mistake. But why does this happen? Why do people get nervous when they speak in public? And why does it feel so difficult, even when the words are simple? To understand how to speak confidently, you must first understand the fear behind public speaking. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a natural reaction from your brain. Your brain wants to protect you. When you stand in front of people, your brain thinks you are in danger, even if you are not. A long time ago, humans had to protect themselves from danger. Being watched by many eyes could mean a wild animal was nearby. Your brain still has this old habit. When people stare at you, your brain thinks something bad might happen. So it sends signals that make your heart beat faster, and your breath become short. It is only your brain trying to help, but it confuses you because you are not actually in danger. When you understand this, you realize something important. The fear you feel is not about speaking itself. It is about how your brain reacts to attention. Many people think, "I'm scared to speak," but that is not true. You speak every day. You talk to friends, you talk to family, you talk to strangers in small conversations. You talk without fear. So the fear is not speaking. The fear is being judged. The fear is thinking about what others might think. You imagine that they will laugh at you. You imagine that they will think you are weak, boring, or silly. You imagine that they will notice every mistake you make. But most of these thoughts are not real. They are only thoughts your mind creates. One of the biggest reasons people feel nervous is because they expect themselves to be perfect. They believe they must speak smoothly, with perfect grammar, without mistakes, and without hesitation. But nobody speaks perfectly all the time. Even great speakers make small mistakes. They pause, they think, they restart sentences. They sometimes lose their words. But they do not panic, because they trust themselves. They believe they can continue. They believe mistakes do not destroy confidence. This belief is what makes them confident, not perfection. Confidence does not grow from doing everything perfectly. Confidence grows from staying calm even when things are not perfect. You learn to trust yourself in small moments. For example, when you forget a word, instead of panicking, you smile and continue. When you feel nervous, you breathe and continue. When you speak too fast, you slow down and continue. Confidence comes from continuing. The more you continue, the more your brain learns that speaking is safe. Another reason people feel nervous is because they focus too much on themselves. They think about how they look, how their voice sounds, and what others might think. This makes the brain anxious. But confident speakers focus on the message, not on themselves. They think, "What am I trying to say?" instead of "What will people think of me?" When your attention is on the message, your fear becomes smaller. Your brain stops worrying about your voice and your face. It focuses on the ideas. The audience becomes less scary. They become listeners, not judges. The truth is, most people in the audience are not judging you. They are not waiting for you to fail. Many are nervous speakers themselves. Some admire your courage. Some are simply listening. They are not thinking about your mistakes because they are thinking about your message. People care more about what you say than how you say it. They want to understand you. They want to learn something from you. Once you understand this, the fear becomes weaker. You also need to know that nervousness is not a sign of weakness. Nervousness is a sign that you care. You care about doing well. You care about being understood. You care about giving value. Nervousness is energy. If you learn how to control it, that same energy becomes confidence. When your heart beats fast, it means your body is ready to perform. When your breath quickens, your body is preparing to give power to your voice. What feels like fear can turn into strength if you learn how to manage it. It is also important to understand that confidence does not start in front of people. Confidence starts alone. Confidence starts in your mind. If you speak kindly to yourself, confidence grows. If you always say, "I am bad at speaking," your fear grows. Your thoughts shape your feelings shape your actions. When you change your thoughts, you change everything. Imagine telling yourself, "I can speak clearly. I can stay calm. I can handle mistakes. I will get better every day." These thoughts teach your brain that speaking is not dangerous. They teach your brain that you are capable. Many people think confident speakers are born that way, but that is not true. Confident speakers are created. They worked on their voice. They practiced in front of mirrors. They spoke to empty rooms. They made mistakes. They felt nervous. They continued anyway. Confidence is built through practice, repetition, and patience. If you practice long enough, your brain becomes comfortable. The fear becomes smaller. You begin to trust your voice. Another important part of overcoming nervousness is understanding your breath. When you get nervous, your breathing becomes fast and shallow. This makes you more anxious because your body thinks you are in danger. But when you breathe slowly and deeply, your body relaxes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your voice becomes stronger. Breathing is the bridge between your mind and your body. When your breath is calm, your mind becomes calm. When your mind becomes calm, your voice becomes confident. Pay attention to your physical reactions when you get nervous. Your body might freeze. Your hands might shake. Your feet might feel heavy. These reactions do not mean you cannot speak. They simply mean your brain is preparing to protect you. Once you understand this, you can control these reactions. You can relax your shoulders. You can loosen your jaw. You can wiggle your fingers. Small movements remind your brain that you are safe. They help your body release tension. Many people also get nervous because they fear silence. They think silence means they forgot their words. But silence can be powerful. Silence shows control. Silence helps the audience focus. Silence gives you time to think. Confident speakers use silence to create emphasis. They pause, they breathe, they continue. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is your tool. Fear often comes from bad past experiences. Maybe someone laughed at you once. Maybe you made a mistake in school. Maybe someone told you that you speak poorly. These memories make you scared. But memories do not define your future. You can change your story. You can create new memories. Each time you speak, you are writing a new chapter. The more you speak, the more power you gain over your past. To understand your fear better, think about the moments that make you the most nervous. Is it when you look at the audience? Is it when you start speaking? Is it when you forget your words? Understanding the exact moment of fear helps you manage it. Once you know what triggers your fear, you can work on that area. For example, if eye contact scares you, you can start by looking at people's foreheads or noses. If starting scares you, you can practice your first sentence many times. If forgetting scares you, you can practice recovering with simple phrases like, "Let me explain that again," or "What I mean is." Understanding creates control. Fear also grows when you imagine the worst. Your mind creates scary situations that are not real. You imagine falling, shaking, freezing, or being laughed at. But these situations almost never happen, and even if one small mistake happens, it does not destroy your speech. No one leaves the room because you paused. No one hates you because your voice trembled. Most people forget mistakes within seconds. What they remember is your message, your energy, and your confidence. Confidence grows when you understand that public speaking is not a performance, it is a conversation. You are not a robot trying to speak perfectly. You are a human sharing ideas. The audience wants to understand you, not judge you. When you treat speaking like a conversation, your voice becomes natural. Your body relaxes. Your fear becomes smaller. You also need to understand that emotions do not control you unless you let them. You can feel nervous and still speak confidently. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is moving forward even with fear. It is choosing courage over comfort. It is choosing expression over silence. It is choosing progress over perfection. When you understand fear deeply, you gain power over it. Fear becomes something you can manage, not something that controls you. You learn that nervousness is normal. You learn that mistakes are normal. You learn that confidence is a skill, not a gift. And once you understand these truths, you begin to see that you are capable of speaking clearly, calmly, and confidently in any situation. Fear loses its power the moment you face it with knowledge. Nervousness loses strength when you shine light on it. Confidence begins the moment you tell yourself that you can learn, you can improve, and you can speak without fear controlling you. This chapter is the first step. Once you understand fear, you are ready to overcome it. Chapter 2: How Confidence Really Works. Confidence is not magic. It is not something you suddenly wake up with one morning. Confidence is a skill, just like learning to ride a bike or learning to swim. You get better at it every time you practice. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Many people believe that confident speakers are born with some special ability, but that is not true. Confident speakers are made, not born. They learned how to control their mind, how to use their voice, and how to stay calm. You can learn these things too. To understand confidence, you must first understand something important. Confidence starts in your mind before it shows in your voice. When you think confidently, you speak confidently. When you think with fear, your voice becomes weak. Every confident speaker you see always begins by controlling their thoughts. They learn how to speak to themselves in a positive way. They replace negative thoughts with helpful ones. They remind themselves that mistakes are normal, that progress takes time, and that speaking in front of others is safe. Most people lose confidence because of overthinking. Before they speak, they imagine all the things that could go wrong. They imagine forgetting their words. They imagine people laughing at them. They imagine shaking or freezing. Their brain creates a movie of failure, and their body reacts with fear. Their heart beats fast. Their hands sweat. Their breath becomes shallow. But these reactions are not from real danger. They come from imagination. When you learn to control the stories in your mind, you control your confidence. Confidence grows when you stop imagining the worst. Instead, imagine yourself speaking clearly. Imagine the audience listening calmly. Imagine your voice being steady. When you imagine success, your brain relaxes, your body follows, your voice becomes smoother. You start believing that you can speak well. This belief is the foundation of confidence. Confidence also grows when you prepare. Preparation is one of the strongest tools for confidence. When you prepare what you want to say, Practice it slowly, practice it calmly. Your mind becomes comfortable. The fear becomes smaller because your brain knows what to expect. Preparation builds trust in yourself. It tells your mind, I know what to do, I can do this. When you feel prepared, fear loses power. But preparation must be done the right way. Some people over-prepare. They try to memorize every word. They try to repeat every sentence exactly the same. This creates more stress. Your brain tries too hard to remember the exact words, and when you forget one line, you panic. The better way to prepare is to understand your message, not memorize sentences. When you understand your message deeply, you can speak naturally. Even if you forget a word, your mind knows what to say next. You stay calm, and your confidence stays steady. Understanding your message also helps your voice become more natural. When you speak from understanding, not memorization, your voice flows better. You sound more comfortable, you sound more real. People feel connected to you. Confidence is not about sounding perfect. It is about sounding real, calm, and clear. Another important part of confidence is body language. Your body has a strong connection to your mind. When you stand tall, your mind becomes stronger. When you breathe slowly, your voice becomes steadier. When you open your chest, your voice becomes louder and clearer. But when you hunch your shoulders, your mind feels weak. When you avoid eye contact, you feel smaller. When you look down, your voice becomes soft. Your body teaches your brain how to feel. This is why confident speakers pay attention to their posture. They stand tall. They relax their shoulders. They keep their chin level. They breathe deeply. They move slowly. These small actions tell their brain, I am safe. I am in control. Confidence grows from these signals. If you fix your body, your mind begins to follow. Even if you feel nervous inside, your body can help you appear and feel more confident. Your voice also plays a big role in confidence. A confident voice is not loud. It is not fast. It is calm, steady, and controlled. Many people speak too quickly when they are nervous because their brain is in a rush. But speaking fast makes you more anxious. You feel like you cannot breathe. You feel like you are losing control. A confident voice is slow. It takes pauses. It gives you time to think. It gives the audience time to understand. When you slow your voice, you slow your mind. You create confidence. Try speaking slower than you think you should. At first, it may feel strange. You may feel like you are talking too slowly. But the audience will not feel that way. They will feel that you are relaxed. They will feel that you are sure of yourself. Slow speech is confident speech. Another simple trick is to breathe before you speak. Just one deep breath can calm your nerves. Your body relaxes. Your mind becomes clear. You start speaking with more control. Many professional speakers silently take a slow breath before starting. The audience never notices, but the speaker feels stronger. Breathing is your secret weapon. Confidence also grows from experience. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become. Every time you speak, even in small situations, you teach your brain that speaking is safe. You can start with small steps. Speak more in daily conversations. Ask questions in class or meetings. Talk to new people. Share your thoughts with friends. Each small moment is practice. These small moments build confidence for bigger moments. Many people believe they should wait until they feel confident before speaking. But this is wrong. You do not speak because you are confident. You become confident because you speak. Action comes first. Confidence comes after. If you wait for confidence, you will wait forever. The only way to build confidence is to speak, even when you feel nervous. Each time you speak, your fear gets weaker. Another reason people lack confidence is because they compare themselves to others. They think, that person speaks better than me. They think, I will never sound like them. They think, I am not as smart as they are. But comparison destroys confidence. You cannot grow when you compare your journey to someone else's. Every confident speaker was once a nervous speaker. Every smooth voice was once shaky. Every strong speaker once struggled. Your path is your own. Focus on your improvement, not on others. Confidence also grows when you speak honestly. Many people feel nervous because they try to pretend, they try to sound perfect, they try to be someone else. But pretending makes your mind nervous. You fear being exposed. You fear making mistakes. True confidence comes from being yourself. When you speak honestly, your mind relaxes. You do not have to hide anything. You can focus on your message. You can speak freely. Confidence also grows when you accept your mistakes. Mistakes do not ruin your speech. They make you human. If you forget a word, just pause and continue. If your voice shakes, take a breath and continue. If you lose your place, smile and continue. Mistakes are normal. What matters is how you recover. Your recovery shows confidence more than your perfection. The audience does not care about small mistakes. They care about your message, your passion, and your sincerity. So instead of trying to avoid mistakes, learn to move through them. This mindset gives you freedom, and freedom creates confidence. Confidence also grows when you understand that not everyone's opinion matters. Many people fear speaking because they worry about what others will think. But most people are too busy with their own lives to judge you. And the few who might judge you do not know your journey. They do not know your effort. They do not know your growth. Their opinion should not control your life. Speak for yourself, not for others. Confidence grows faster when you celebrate small wins. Every improvement, no matter how small, deserves recognition. Maybe your voice was a little steadier today. Maybe you spoke a little slower. Maybe you felt a little calmer. These small wins build confidence brick by brick. When you notice your progress, your mind feels encouraged. Encouragement creates strength. Confidence also comes from understanding your value. Your voice has value. Your thoughts have value. Your story has value. When you believe your message matters, your confidence grows. You speak with more purpose. You speak with more clarity. You speak with more passion. Speaking confidently does not mean removing fear. Speaking confidently means learning how to control fear. Fear becomes your fuel. Fear becomes your energy. Fear becomes something you can manage, not something that controls you. Confidence is built through understanding, preparation, body language, breathing, practice and mindset. Confidence is something you create with your actions. Confidence becomes stronger every time you speak, every time you practice, and every time you choose courage over comfort. Once you understand how confidence works, you begin to realize something powerful. Confidence is not far away from you. It is already inside you, waiting to be developed. All you need to do is practice, believe, and speak with intention. The more you understand confidence, the more you will feel it growing within you. Chapter 3. The truth about nervousness. Nervousness feels like a monster living inside your body. It hits you when you stand up to speak. Your heart pounds, your throat feels tight, your breath becomes fast, your hands shake, your mind goes blank. You feel like you are losing control. Nervousness feels like something is wrong with you. But the truth is far from that. Nervousness is normal. Nervousness is natural. Nervousness is human. And when you understand what nervousness really is, you learn that you can control it. You learn that you are not weak. You learn that nothing is wrong with you. Nervousness is simply a signal, not a problem. To understand nervousness, you must understand your brain's job. Your brain wants to protect you. It wants to keep you safe. When you stand in front of people, your brain thinks you are in danger, even if you are perfectly safe. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a harmless situation. If many eyes are looking at you, your brain thinks something big and scary might happen. so it prepares your body for danger. It makes your heart beat fast to give you energy. It makes your breathing speed up to give you oxygen. It makes your body tense so you can react quickly. These changes feel uncomfortable, but they are not harmful. Nervousness is your brain misunderstanding the situation. Your brain thinks you are facing danger, but the truth is you are only speaking. You are not facing a wild animal. You are not facing a fight. You are not facing anything dangerous. You are just speaking. When you understand this, you stop treating nervousness like a monster. You start seeing it as a simple mistake your brain is making. A common mistake that many people make is thinking that nervousness means they cannot speak well. But nervousness does not mean you are a bad speaker. Nervousness means you care. Nervousness means you want to do well. Nervousness means you want to be understood. Nervousness means your body is reacting strongly because your message matters to you. Many great speakers feel nervous before they speak. Some of the most famous actors, performers, and leaders feel nervous too, but they speak anyway. They walk on stage with shaking hands. They speak with a fast heartbeat. They continue because they know nervousness is not a stop sign. It is just a feeling that passes once they begin. One of the most important things to understand is this: nervousness becomes worse when you fight it. When you say to yourself, "I should not be nervous," the nervousness grows. When you try to hide it, it grows. When you try to push it away, it grows. The more you resist it, the stronger it becomes. But when you say it's okay to be nervous, it becomes weaker. Acceptance is the tool that shrinks nervousness. Imagine holding a balloon underwater. The harder you push it down, the harder it pushes back. But if you let go, it rises and floats gently on the surface. Nervousness works the same way. If you try to push it down, it explodes. If you let it rise, it calms down slowly. When you allow nervousness to exist without fighting it, you feel more relaxed. You breathe easier. Your mind becomes clearer. Another truth about nervousness is this: your audience cannot feel your nerves as strongly as you think. You may feel your heart pounding so loudly that you think everyone can hear it. You may feel your hands shaking and imagine the whole world noticing, but people cannot see what you feel. They see only a very small part of it. What feels huge on the inside often looks tiny on the outside. Your mind exaggerates your fear. Your mind makes everything feel bigger than it actually is. This is why you think your nervousness is obvious, but most people in the audience cannot see it. Even if they notice a little, they do not judge you. They do not think badly of you. In fact, when they see a speaker who is a little nervous, they feel more connected to them. They think, "This person is human like me." Nervousness can actually make you relatable if you do not panic about it. Another important truth is that nervousness usually comes from thinking too much about yourself. When you think, "What will they think of me?" you become nervous. When you think, "What if I mess up?" you become nervous. When you think, "What if they judge me?" you become nervous. The more you think about yourself, the more your nervousness grows. But confident speakers focus on the message, not on themselves. They think, "What do I want to share?" They think, "How can I help the audience?" They think, "What is my point?" When your attention moves from yourself to your message, nervousness naturally decreases. Your mind stops worrying about your voice, your face, or your mistakes. Your mind becomes busy with expressing your idea clearly. This reduces fear. Another reason people feel nervous is the fear of silence. When there is a pause, you panic. You think the audience will judge you. You think silence means you forgot something. But silence is normal. Silence is peaceful. Silence gives you time to think. Silence gives the audience time to listen. Confident speakers use silence to breathe, to think, to relax. Silence is not an enemy. Silence is a tool. There is also the fear of forgetting your words. Many people think, "What if I forget what to say? But forgetting is normal. Even great speakers forget things. The difference is they stay calm when it happens. When you forget something, simply pause, breathe, think, then continue. Your audience will not mind. They are patient. They are listening. They are human too. Another truth about nervousness is that it gets better with practice. Nervousness does not disappear forever, but it becomes smaller every time you face it. If you speak once a month, your fear grows. But if you speak every day, even in small ways, your fear becomes smaller. You train your brain through repetition. The more you speak, the more your brain learns that speaking is safe. Practice does not mean memorizing long speeches. Practice means talking more in daily situations. Practice means saying your thoughts out loud. Practice means asking questions in class or meetings. Practice means joining conversations instead of staying silent. These small actions train your brain to stay calm when you speak. Another truth about nervousness is that your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart races first. Your breath changes first. Your muscles tighten first. Then your mind starts thinking scary thoughts. This means you must calm your body before calming your mind. Deep breathing is one of the strongest tools for this. When you breathe slowly, your body relaxes. When your body relaxes, your mind relaxes. When your mind relaxes, your voice becomes steady. One deep breath before speaking can change everything. It slows your heart. It slows your mind. It gives you control. It reminds your nervous system that you are safe. Many people ignore breathing, but it is the strongest way to manage fear. 2. Another helpful truth is that nervousness becomes weaker when you focus on the present moment. Nervousness grows when you think about the future. You think, what if I fail? You think, what if I make a mistake? But when you stay in the present, these thoughts fade. You focus on one sentence at a time, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. You stop worrying about what comes next. You stop worrying about what already happened. You just speak. Staying present gives your voice power. Staying present gives your mind peace. Staying present removes pressure. When you live in the moment, nervousness has no space to grow. Nervousness also becomes smaller when you stop trying to be perfect. Perfection creates pressure. Pressure creates fear. Fear creates nervousness. You do not need perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation, or perfect flow. You need clarity. You need honesty. You need calmness. When you release perfection, you gain confidence. When you accept imperfection, you gain freedom. You will always have some nervousness when you speak. It may be small, it may be light, but it will not control you. Nervousness is not your enemy. Nervousness is energy. It is the body preparing you to speak. If you learn how to use that energy, it becomes excitement. It becomes passion. It becomes power. Nervousness is something you can manage. Nervousness is something you can understand. Nervousness is something you can reduce. It is not something that owns you. You are stronger than your fear. You are bigger than your nervousness. You are capable of speaking clearly, calmly, and confidently. When you understand the truth about nervousness, you stop being scared of it. You stop fighting it. You learn how to work with it. You learn how to speak with it. And soon, you learn how to speak above it. Confidence grows each time you choose to speak, despite fear, and every time you do that, nervousness loses its power over you. Chapter 4. Training your mind to stay calm. Calmness is the foundation of confident speaking. Without calmness, your voice shakes, your thoughts scatter, and your confidence weakens. But when your mind is calm, everything becomes easier. Your voice becomes steady. Your breathing becomes smooth. Your body feels lighter. Your thoughts become clear. Calmness creates confidence, and confidence creates powerful speaking. That is why learning to stay calm is one of the most important parts of becoming a confident speaker. Many people think calmness is something you feel only when you are relaxed, lying on your bed, or sitting in a quiet place. But calmness is something you can learn to create anywhere, before speaking, during speaking, and even in stressful moments. Calmness is not something that happens by accident. It is something you train your mind to do. Your mind learns calmness the same way it learns any skill, through practice, repetition, and awareness. To understand how to stay calm, you must understand why your mind becomes anxious. Anxiety is your brain reacting to the unknown. When you speak in public, your brain thinks something unpredictable might happen. It fears losing control. It fears being judged. It fears mistakes. This fear creates tension in your body. But the truth is, nothing dangerous is happening. You are just talking. You are only sharing thoughts. You are not in danger. Your brain simply misunderstands the situation. Your goal is to teach your brain the truth. Speaking is safe, you are safe, and nothing bad will happen. The more your brain understands this truth, the calmer you become. Calmness begins with awareness. Awareness means noticing what is happening inside you without panicking. When your heart beats fast, awareness means saying, "My heart is beating fast, and that is okay." When your breath becomes short, awareness means saying, "My breath feels tight, and that is okay." When your hands shake, awareness means saying, "My hands are shaking, and that is okay." Awareness takes away fear. It turns panic into observation. Imagine you are standing in front of people, and your heart starts racing. If you panic, the fear grows. But if you say to yourself, "My heart is just preparing me to speak," the fear becomes smaller. Calmness enters your mind through acceptance, not resistance. Another important part of learning calmness is controlling your breathing. Breathing is the switch that turns panic into peace. When you breathe slowly, your brain receives a message. Everything is safe. Your body relaxes, your heart slows down, your thoughts stabilize, calmness grows. Slow breathing is like giving your mind a warm blanket. It protects you from fear. Try this simple idea. Before you speak, take a slow breath. Not a big dramatic breath, just a slow, comfortable one. Feel the cool air go in. Feel the warm air go out. One breath tells your mind, "I can handle this." Another breath tells your body, "Relax." A third breath helps your voice. Breathing is the anchor that holds you steady. Calmness also grows from slowing down your actions. When you rush, your nervous system becomes confused. It thinks something is wrong. But when you move slowly, your body feels safe. Stand still for a moment. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Loosen your fingers. These small movements tell your mind that nothing dangerous is happening. Many people feel nervous because they rush the start of their speech. They walk fast. They talk fast. They breathe fast. They want to get it over with. But confident speakers start slowly. They walk calmly. They breathe calmly. They begin with control. Starting slowly gives you time to settle. It also gives the audience confidence in you. Calm beginnings create calm speeches. Your mind also becomes calm when you focus on the present moment. Anxiety grows when you think about the future. You think, "What if I forget something?" You think, "What if they laugh at me?" You think, "What if I fail?" These thoughts create fear, and fear destroys calmness. But when you keep your attention in the present, fear fades. The present moment is simple. It is only one sentence, only one breath, only one thought. The present moment does not have problems. Problems live in the future or the past. When you stay present, your mind stops imagining danger. Calmness becomes easier. Another way to stay calm is to trust your mind's ability to recover. Many people panic because they think, "If I forget something, everything is ruined." But that is not true. If you forget a word, your mind will find another one. If you lose a sentence, your mind will create a new one. Your mind has spoken thousands of sentences in your life. It will not suddenly forget how to speak. Trusting your mind removes pressure. Pressure creates panic. Trust creates calmness. Calmness also grows when you remove the pressure to be perfect. Perfection destroys calmness. It makes your mind tight. It makes your breath short. It makes your voice weak. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be clear. If you forget one point, it is fine. If you pause too long, it is fine. If your voice shakes a little, it is fine. The audience does not expect perfection. They expect honesty. They want clarity. They want your message. When you accept imperfection, your mind feels free. Freedom creates calmness. Calmness creates confidence. Confidence creates strong speaking. Another powerful thing that creates calmness is preparation. Not memorizing sentences, but preparing your mind. When you practice speaking in your room, your brain learns that speaking is safe. When you practice in front of a mirror, your brain becomes comfortable with seeing yourself speak. When you practice with a friend, your brain learns that people are not judging you. These small moments of practice teach your brain to stay calm. Imagine touching warm water for the first time. At first it feels surprising, but as you touch it again and again, it begins to feel normal. Speaking works the same way. The more you speak, the more normal it feels. The more normal it feels, the calmer you become. Another part of staying calm is understanding that the audience wants you to succeed. They are not hoping you will fail. They are not waiting for you to mess up. They want you to speak well because they want to learn from you. The audience is on your side. Knowing this takes pressure off your mind. When you realize people want you to succeed, your fear becomes smaller. Calmness also grows when you avoid overthinking. Overthinking creates confusion. Confusion creates fear. Fear creates nervousness. Overthinking comes from imagining too many things at once. But you only need to focus on what you are saying at this moment. Anything else is noise. Anything else is distraction. Another important truth is that calmness grows from practice outside of speaking. If you stay calm in daily life, it becomes easier to stay calm while speaking. For example, when someone argues with you, practice staying calm. When you feel stressed, practice breathing slowly. When something surprises you, practice relaxing your body. These small moments teach your nervous system how to stay calm. Confidence in speaking is not built only on stage. It is built in the small moments of everyday life. How you handle stress at school, at work, at home, or in conversations shapes how you handle stress in public speaking. Calmness is a lifestyle, not a moment. Another part of calmness comes from acceptance. Accept that your body will sometimes react. Accept that your heart may beat fast. Accept that your path may tighten. Accept that your hands may shake. When you accept these reactions, they stop scaring you. When they stop scaring you, they lose their power. Your goal is not to eliminate nervousness. Your goal is to stay calm even when nervousness shows up. Calmness means saying, I feel nervous but I can still speak. Calmness means your fear does not control your actions. Calmness means your voice remains steady even when your heart is fast. Calmness means you trust yourself even when your body feels shaky. That is real confidence. One of the strongest tools for calmness is self-talk. Your mind listens to your words. If you say, I can't do this, your mind becomes tense. If you say, everyone will judge me, your mind becomes scared. But if you say, I can handle this, your mind becomes calm. If you say, I will do my best, your body relaxes. If you say, it's okay to feel nervous, your fear becomes smaller. Your voice can calm your mind. Your words can calm your fear. Your thoughts shape your confidence. Calmness also grows from understanding that speaking is just sharing. You are not performing. You are not being tested. You are not being graded. You are simply sharing thoughts. When you think of speaking as sharing, your mind relaxes. Sharing is natural. You share your thoughts with friends all the time. Speaking in public is the same, just with more people. When you speak with the mindset of sharing, you become gentle with yourself. You stop forcing yourself. You stop pressuring yourself. You speak with ease. You speak with honesty. Calmness flows naturally. Finally, calmness grows from practice, patience, and repetition. You will not become perfectly calm in one day. You will not remove all nervousness in 1 week. But each time you practice calmness, your fear becomes smaller. Each time you breathe calmly, your nervous system becomes stronger. Each time you face your fear, calmness grows inside you. Calmness is a skill, and you are learning it. You are building it. You are becoming someone who can stay calm in front of people, even when your heart is loud. That is strength. That is control. That is confidence. Chapter 5. Training your voice to sound strong and confident. Your voice is one of the most powerful tools you have when speaking in public. It carries your message. It shows your emotion. It expresses your personality. And it shapes how people see you. A confident voice makes people trust you. It makes people pay attention. It makes your message feel important. But most people don't use their voice in the best way. They speak too fast. They speak too soft. They speak without breathing correctly. They let fear control their tone. When your voice shakes, people can hear your nervousness. When your voice rushes, people can feel your anxiety. But when your voice is trained, calm and strong, people immediately listen. The good news is that anyone can train their voice. You do not need a natural speaker's voice to sound confident. You only need to learn how your voice works and how to control it. Your voice is like a muscle. The more you use it correctly, the stronger it becomes. The more you practice, the smoother and more powerful it sounds. Confidence in your voice is not something you are born with. It is something you build. To understand your voice, you must understand that your voice starts with your breath. Breath is the engine behind your words. When your breath is calm and steady, your voice becomes steady. When your breath is short and shaky, your voice becomes shaky. People often think their voice shakes because they are weak speakers, but in reality, their voice shakes because their breath is shaking. If you control your breath, you control your voice. Imagine a river. If the flow of water is smooth, the river looks peaceful and strong, but if the flow is rapid and uneven, the river looks chaotic. Your breath works the same way. If your breath flows smoothly, your voice becomes peaceful and strong. If your breath is uneven, your voice becomes weak and shaky. That is why breathing exercises are the foundation of voice training. To train your voice, begin by breathing through your nose slowly. Feel the air enter your body. Let it fill your lungs, then let it out gently through your mouth. This simple act of slow breathing calms your body. It gives your voice a solid foundation. When you breathe slowly, your words come out smoother. Your tone becomes clearer. Your mind becomes sharper. Even one slow breath before speaking can change your entire voice. Many people breathe from their chest when they speak. This creates tension. This makes the voice sound tight, but confident speakers breathe from their diaphragm, which is lower in the body. When you breathe from your diaphragm, your voice has more depth and more power. It becomes full instead of thin. It becomes warm instead of shaky. Training yourself to breathe from your diaphragm gives your voice a strong, stable sound. Another important part of voice training is slowing down your speech. Nervous speakers talk fast. They rush their words because they want to finish quickly, but rushing makes you sound unsure. It makes your words unclear. It makes the audience feel stressed. Confident speakers do the opposite. They speak slowly. They control the pace. They take pauses. They give their words space. When you speak slowly, you sound more confident. You sound more thoughtful. You sound more in control. At first, speaking slowly may feel uncomfortable. You might feel like you are speaking too slow, but the audience will not feel that way. To them, you will sound calm and confident. Slowing down your speech gives your voice time to settle. It gives your mind time to think. It gives your message time to land. You don't need to rush. You need to connect. Your voice also becomes more confident when you pause at the right moments. Pauses are powerful. Pauses show control. Pauses show calmness. Pauses give meaning to your words. Most people fear silence, but silence is your friend. It helps your audience understand your message. It helps you breathe. It helps you stay grounded. Use pauses to give strength to your sentences. Use pauses to let your message sink in. When you pause intentionally, your voice becomes a tool of power. Another part of voice training is volume. Many nervous speakers talk too softly. They try to hide behind their voice. They are afraid of being heard. They are afraid of making mistakes. But speaking softly makes you sound unsure. It makes people struggle to hear you. And when people cannot hear you, they cannot connect with you. Confidence is not about shouting. It is about speaking clearly and firmly, with a strong but natural volume. To speak with confidence, imagine your voice reaching the back of the room. Not by shouting, but by projecting. Projection means sending your voice outward. It means speaking with energy, not fear. It means trusting your voice. When you project, your voice becomes alive. People feel your presence. People respect your authority. You become someone worth listening to. Tone is also a big part of confident speaking. Tone is the emotion behind your voice. When your tone is dull, people feel bored. When your tone is stressed, people feel uncomfortable. When your tone is confident, people feel assured. The tone of your voice should match your message. Set with warmth when you want to inspire. Speak with firmness when you want to be clear. Speak with energy when you want to excite. Tone control makes your voice persuasive. Your voice is not just sound. It is emotion. It is intention. It is personality. When you understand how to use your tone, you gain the ability to move people. You gain the ability to make your message stronger. Another important part of voice training is clarity. Nervous speakers sometimes mumble. They speak too quickly or swallow their words. This happens because tension collects in the jaw and throat. But confident speaking requires relaxed muscles. Relaxation helps your voice flow freely. Before speaking, gently loosen your jaw. Relax your tongue. Keep your throat open. These small physical adjustments can make your voice sound clearer instantly. Your voice also becomes more confident when your posture is strong. Your posture affects your breath. Your breath affects your voice. Your voice affects your confidence. When you stand tall, your lungs have more space to fill with air. When your chest is open, your voice travels more easily. When your body is balanced, your tone is stronger. Good posture creates a strong voice, and a strong voice creates a strong presence. Confidence is not only what you say. Confidence is also how you sound when you say it. Your voice tells a story. It tells people whether you believe in yourself or not. It tells people whether you feel comfortable or nervous. It tells people whether they should pay attention. That is why voice training is not optional. It is essential. One of the biggest secrets of confident speaking is this. Your voice becomes confident when your mind trusts your voice. The more you practice, the more your mind trusts you. The calmer you become. The calmer you become, the stronger your voice becomes. It is a cycle, a powerful cycle. A cycle that you can build. Think of your voice like a muscle you are training for strength. At first it may feel awkward. You may feel unsure. You may feel self-conscious. But with time, your voice becomes stronger. It becomes more stable. It becomes something you can rely on. The more you practice speaking out loud, even when alone, the more natural it becomes. Your voice also grows stronger when you speak with purpose. When you know what your message is, your voice naturally becomes more confident. Purpose gives your words weight. Purpose gives your tone life. Purpose gives your voice direction. People can hear purpose in a voice. They can feel it, they trust it, and you trust it too. Your voice is not something separate from you. Your voice is you. When your voice grows stronger, you grow stronger. When your voice becomes confident, you become confident. When your voice carries your message reaches the world. Your goal is not to have a perfect voice. Your goal is to have a strong, calm, steady voice that reflects your message and your confidence. You can build that voice, you can train it, you can shape it. Every time you practice, your voice becomes a little stronger. Every time you breathe deeply, your voice becomes more stable. Every time you speak slowly, your voice becomes more confident. Your voice is your power. Your voice is your identity. Your voice is your tool. When you learn to control it, there is no audience too big. There is no stage too bright. There is no moment too scary. You will speak with a voice that people listen to. You will speak with a voice that carries. You will speak with a voice that fits the confident person you are becoming. Chapter 6. How to control your body language when you speak. Your body speaks before your words do. Long before you open your mouth, people notice how you stand, how you move, and how you use your hands. Your body language tells the audience something about you. It tells them whether you feel confident or scared. It tells them whether you feel ready or nervous. It tells them whether they should pay attention or not. Even if you do not speak a single word, your body is already communicating. That is why learning to control your body language is one of the most powerful tools in confident speaking. Most people think public speaking is only about words, but the truth is that your body plays just as big a role as your voice. Your body can make your voice stronger, it can make your mind calmer, it can make your message clearer. Your body language is like a second voice. When your body is strong, your voice becomes strong. When your body is tense, your voice becomes tense. When your body is open, your message becomes open. Your body and your voice are connected, and when you control your body, you control your confidence. The first thing to understand is that your posture shapes your feelings. If you stand with your shoulders down, your chest closed, and your head lowered, your body sends signals to your brain that you are scared. Your brain reacts by making you feel even more nervous. But if you stand tall, lift your chest, and keep your head level, your body sends a different message. It tells your brain that you feel safe. It tells your brain that you are in control. Confidence begins in the body. Imagine a tree standing tall and still. When the tree stands upright, it looks strong and grounded. When you stand tall, you give your audience the same feeling. You appear grounded. You appear steady. You appear confident. Good posture is not about looking perfect. It is about giving your breath space. It is about opening your body. It is about helping your voice travel clearly. When your body is open, your voice flows better. When your body is stable, your mind becomes stable too. Your feet also play a big role in your confidence. Nervous speakers often shift their weight from one foot to the other. They sway. They rock back and forth. They fidget. These movements tell the audience that you feel unsure. But when you keep your feet grounded, your body becomes steady. A grounded stance tells your brain that you are safe. It tells the audience that you feel secure. When your feet are still, your mind becomes still too. Another important part of body language is your hands. Many people do not know what to do with their hands while speaking. Some hide them in their pockets. Some cross their arms. Some play with objects or touch their face. These movements signal nervousness. But your hands can actually help you speak more confidently if you use them naturally. Hands are meant to move. They help you express ideas. They give rhythm to your speech. They help your words feel more alive. The key is to move your hands slowly and purposefully. Do not wave them wildly or keep them stiff. Let them follow your words. Let them support your message. When your hands move naturally, your voice feels more natural too. When your hands relax, your shoulders relax. When your shoulders relax, your breathing relaxes. Everything in your body is connected. When one part calms down, the rest follows. Your head and eyes also shape your confidence. Nervous speakers often look down or avoid eye contact. They stare at the floor, the ceiling, or their notes. This happens because their brain is trying to escape pressure, but avoiding eye contact creates distance between you and your audience. It makes you look unsure. It makes your message feel weaker. Eye contact is powerful because it connects you with your listeners. It shows them you are confident. It shows them you believe in your message. You do not need to stare at people directly. Instead, gently look at different parts of the room. Look at one person for a few seconds, then move your gaze to another area. This makes everyone feel included. It also keeps your brain calm because it feels like a conversation instead of a performance. Eye contact tells your mind that you are present. It tells your audience that they matter. It creates trust. Another key part of confident body language is stillness. Nervous speakers move too much. They pace back and forth. They tap their feet. They shift constantly. These movements come from fear. The brain thinks movement means safety, but too much movement distracts your audience and weakens your message. Confident speakers use calm, slow movements. They stay still when making an important point. They take slow steps when transitioning to a new idea. Stillness communicates strength. Movement communicates chaos. You want your body to match the calmness you are building in your mind. Stillness is not the same as being stiff. Being stiff means your body is tense. Stillness means your body is relaxed and controlled. A confident speaker stands with relaxed shoulders, open chest, and slow movements. A confident speaker looks like they belong in the space. They appear comfortable, even if they feel a little nervous. Body language is not about pretending. It is about training your body to support your confidence. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they must hide their nervousness. They try to stand perfectly still. They try to freeze their hands. They try to act like a robot. But this makes you look rigid and unnatural. People do not connect with stiff speakers. They connect with relaxed ones. Natural movement is important. The goal is not to remove movement. The goal is to remove frantic movement. You want calm, gentle, grounded movement. Another powerful part of body language is your smile. A simple smile can relax your nerves instantly. When you smile, your brain releases chemicals that calm your body. Your shoulders drop. Your breath slows. Your voice becomes warmer. Your audience feels more connected to you. Smiling also signals confidence. It tells the room that you feel comfortable and open. You do not need to smile the whole time, but beginning with a small, natural smile sets a positive tone. Your facial expressions also matter. Many nervous speakers tighten their jaw, lift their eyebrows too high, or freeze their face. They look tense. They look uncomfortable. Relaxing your face helps your voice sound smoother. Your jaw should be loose. Your forehead should be calm. Your mouth should move naturally. When your face relaxes, your whole body relaxes. Another important truth about body language is that your body mirrors your mental state, but your mental state also mirrors your body. This means that if you feel confident, your body will look confident, but if your body looks confident, you will also begin to feel confident. Even if you do not feel brave, standing tall can make you feel braver. Even if you do not feel calm, breathing deeply makes you feel calmer. Even if you do not feel strong, grounding your feet makes you feel stronger. Body language is not about acting. It is about teaching your body and your brain how to work together. When your mind feels fear, your body can calm it. When your body feels tense, your breath can relax it. When your voice feels shaky, your posture can stabilize it. Confidence comes from the harmony between your mind, your body, and your voice. Another helpful thing is practicing your body language when you are alone. Stand in front of a mirror. Watch how you move. Practice standing tall. Practice relaxing your shoulders. Practice looking forward. Practice moving your hands naturally. Practice smiling gently before you start speaking. Your body will begin to remember these actions. When you stand in front of people, your body will repeat what you practiced. Repetition builds comfort. Comfort builds confidence. Many people forget that confidence is not about impressing others. Confidence is about feeling comfortable in your own body. When you feel comfortable with your movements, your audience feels comfortable listening to you. Your calm energy becomes their calm energy. Your confidence becomes their trust. Another important part of body language is understanding the space around you. When you speak, the space is yours. Nervous speakers shrink themselves. They take up as little space as possible. They keep their arms close to their body. They stand only in one spot. They look small. But confident speakers use space. They step forward when making a strong point. They move gently to the side when transitioning. They open their arms to express big ideas. They expand their presence. Using space signals confidence. It shows you are not afraid to be seen. You belong in the room. One more important truth is this: your body language should match your message. If your message is hopeful, your body should look open. If your message is serious, your body should look grounded. If your message is gentle, your body should look calm. When your body and your message match, people feel the truth in your words. Finally, remember that your body language does not need to be perfect. You do not need to look like a professional speaker. You do not need to be dramatic or theatrical. You only need to be open, relaxed, and steady. You only need to let your body support your voice instead of fighting it. Your body language is there to help you, not to pressure you. When your body is calm, your mind becomes calm. When your mind is calm, your voice becomes strong. When your voice becomes strong, your audience listens. Body language is not decoration. Body language is communication. It is confidence expressed without words. It is your silent message, and if you learn to control it, you will never speak with fear again. Chapter 7: How to prepare without feeling overwhelmed. Preparation is one of the strongest secrets of confident speaking. When you prepare the right way, your fear becomes smaller. Your mind becomes clearer. Your voice becomes steadier. Your body becomes calmer. But many people prepare the wrong way. They try to memorize every word. They try to force their mind to remember long sentences. They try to make everything perfect. This creates pressure. Pressure creates fear. Fear creates nervousness. True preparation is not about perfection. True preparation is about understanding, comfort, and clarity. Most nervous speakers feel overwhelmed because they believe preparation means writing a script and memorizing every line. This is one of the biggest mistakes. When you memorize word for word, your brain becomes stressed. It tries too hard to remember each sentence. If you forget even one word, your mind panics. You freeze. You lose your flow. Memorization creates fear. Understanding creates confidence. Preparing to speak should feel like learning a story, not memorizing a script. When you know the story, you can tell it naturally. You can explain it in many ways. Even if you forget one detail, you can continue without fear. Understanding gives your mind freedom. It gives you flexibility. It gives you control. Your goal is not to memorize. Your goal is to understand your message deeply, so that your mind can speak without stress. Imagine you are talking to a friend about your day. You do not memorize your sentences before speaking. You do not plan every word. You just talk. You talk freely because you understand your day. You lived it. you remember it, you feel it. When you prepare your speech like a story you understand, speaking becomes just as natural. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed also means breaking things down. Nervous speakers often look at the whole speech and feel scared. They think, I have to remember all of this. But talking is easier when you think in small parts. Instead of thinking about the whole speech, think about the beginning, the middle, and the end. Think about the ideas you want to share, not the exact sentences. When you break your message into small, simple parts, your mind understands it better. Another truth is that preparation begins long before you stand in front of an audience. Preparation begins in your everyday life. When you talk to people, you are preparing. When you explain something to a friend, you are preparing. When you share a story, you are preparing. All communication is practice for speaking. The more you practice expressing ideas daily, the easier public speaking becomes. One of the strongest parts of preparation is practicing out loud. Many people prepare only in their head. They think about what they want to say, but do not actually say it. This causes problems because speaking out loud feels different from thinking silently. Your voice sounds different. Your pace feels different. Your breath feels different. When you practice out loud, your mind learns how it feels to speak. Your body becomes familiar with the words. Your voice becomes stronger. The more you practice out loud, the more your confidence grows. Another important part of preparation is controlling your start. The beginning of your speech sets the tone for everything else. If you start with panic, the whole speech feels stressful. But if you start calmly, the rest becomes easier. Practicing your first few sentences is one of the best ways to feel confident. When your brain knows exactly how you are going to begin, it feels safe, it feels prepared. The moment you get past your beginning smoothly, your nerves drop. You don't need to memorize your whole speech, but knowing your opening gives you stability. It gives you a solid foundation. It helps you step into your message with control. Another part of preparation is practicing your transitions. Transitions are the small moments between ideas. Many nervous speakers get confused when moving from one point to another. They forget what comes next. They panic in the pause. But when you know your transitions, your mind stays calm. You know where you are going next. You know how to guide your audience. You feel in control. For example, thinking of a phrase like, "Now let me explain something else," or "Here is what I want you to understand next," helps your mind move smoothly. Transitions help you not feel lost. They remove the fear of forgetting. They give your brain direction. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed also means practicing in different ways. Do not practice only by reading your notes. Practice by talking. Practice by summarizing. Practice by explaining. Practice by recording yourself. Practice by imagining the audience. When you practice in different ways, your brain learns the message from different angles. This makes your understanding stronger. It makes your confidence deeper. Another helpful idea is practicing in short time periods. Many people think they need long practice sessions. They try to rehearse for hours, but this leads to burnout. Your brain becomes tired. You become frustrated. Short practices are better. You can practice for 10 minutes, take a break, and come back later. Your brain learns better in short, focused moments than in long, stressful ones. It is also important to prepare emotionally. Speaking is not only about words, it is about how you feel when you say them. If you feel stressed, your voice sounds stressed. If you feel calm, your voice sounds calm. Preparing emotionally means imagining yourself speaking smoothly. It means believing you can do it. It means trusting yourself. Your emotions shape your confidence. Preparing emotionally also means accepting that mistakes might happen. Many people fear mistakes so much that they freeze. But mistakes are normal. Every speaker makes mistakes. Every speaker has a moment when they lose their place. Every speaker says something differently than planned. The difference between confident speakers and nervous speakers is that confident speakers continue. They do not panic. They do not apologize. They simply move on. When you prepare mentally to handle mistakes, mistakes lose their power. They no longer scare you. They no longer stop you. You accept them as part of the experience. This acceptance frees your mind. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed also means being kind to yourself. Many people speak to themselves in harsh ways while preparing. They say things like, "I'm not good at this," or "I will fail," or "everyone will judge me." These thoughts create anxiety. Anxiety makes preparation harder. Being gentle with yourself helps you stay calm. Remind yourself that you are learning. Remind yourself that confidence takes time. Remind yourself that you do not need to be perfect. When you speak kindly to yourself, your preparation becomes easier. Another powerful part of preparation is connecting with your purpose. Why are you speaking? What message do you want to share? What do you want people to understand? When you focus on purpose, fear becomes smaller. Purpose gives you confidence. Purpose gives you direction. Purpose gives your voice strength. When you prepare with purpose, you feel more motivated. You feel more passionate. Your message becomes more meaningful. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed also means preparing your environment. Practicing in a quiet room helps your focus. Practicing where you will speak helps your comfort. Practicing with the lights on helps your courage. Practicing with a little background noise helps your flexibility. Preparation is not only about words. It is also about getting comfortable with different situations. Another important truth is that preparation does not guarantee perfection. Even the best speakers feel nervous sometimes. Even the most prepared speakers make mistakes. Preparation gives you control, not perfection. It gives you clarity. It gives you structure. It gives you confidence, but it does not remove your humanity. You are allowed to feel nervous. You are allowed to make small mistakes. Preparation helps you manage them, not erase them. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed also means knowing when to stop. Some people practice too much. They repeat the same lines again and again until their brain feels tired. They confuse practice with pressure. But practice should feel comfortable. It should feel helpful. If you feel overwhelmed, pause, take a break. Rest your mind, rest your voice, rest your body. Your brain learns better when it is calm. Rest is also preparation. Finally, remember that preparation is a journey. With every speech, you become better. With every practice, you become stronger. With every attempt, your fear becomes smaller. Confidence grows slowly, like a plant. You water it through preparation. You give it sunlight through practice. You help it grow through patience. One day, this plant becomes a tree, a strong tree, a calm tree, a confident tree. Preparing without feeling overwhelmed means trusting yourself. It means understanding your message. It means practicing with purpose. It means speaking kindly to others. It means accepting mistakes. It means taking small steps every day. And as you prepare in these gentle ways, you will find that public speaking becomes easier and more natural. You will feel more relaxed. You will feel more confident. You will feel more in control. Chapter 8. How to practice speaking every day without feeling awkward. If you want to speak confidently in public, you must practice. But most people do not know how to practice. They think practice means standing in front of a mirror for an hour or giving long speeches every day. They imagine something big and serious, and because of that, they avoid practicing at all. The truth is, practice does not need to be big. Practice does not need to be perfect. Practice does not need to be loud. Practice can be simple, small, and natural. You can practice every day without feeling awkward or embarrassed. The first thing to understand is that speaking is a skill you already use every day. You talk to friends, you talk to family, you talk to teachers or co-workers. You talk in stores and restaurants, you talk when you order food. You talk when you ask questions. You talk when you explain something. All of these are moments where you can practice becoming a more confident speaker. Daily life gives you many chances to practice. You just have to use them. Many people think practice only happens when you are alone or on a stage, but practice happens whenever you communicate. When you speak clearly to a friend, you are practicing. When you ask a question confidently, you are practicing. When you explain something slowly, you are practicing. Practice hides inside everyday moments. You just need to be aware. One of the easiest ways to practice speaking is talking out loud to yourself. This might sound strange, but it is one of the most powerful methods. When you talk out loud alone, you remove pressure. You train your voice, you train your brain, you train your fluency. Talking out loud builds confidence because there is no one watching. You can experiment, you can try different tones, you can speak slowly, you can try different ways of expressing ideas. Practice alone gives you freedom. Talking out loud also helps you hear your own voice. Many people feel nervous when they hear themselves speak, because they are not used to the sound of their own voice. But when you talk out loud, often, your voice becomes familiar. Familiarity reduces fear. The more you hear yourself, the more comfortable you feel. You can also practice by explaining simple things. Explain what you did today. Explain what you ate. Explain what you learned. Explain a story. Explain a thought. Explain how something works. The more you explain things out loud, the better you get at organizing your thoughts. Clear speaking comes from clear thinking. When you practice explaining, your mind learns how to structure ideas. You begin to speak more smoothly without even trying. Another powerful way to practice is reading out loud. Reading out loud trains your breath. It trains your voice. It trains your pacing. It trains your pronunciation. It teaches your mouth to move smoothly. It also builds confidence because you are speaking words that are already written. You do not have to think about what to say. You only have to say it clearly. This gives you a safe way to practice voice control. When you read out loud, you can try speaking slowly. You can try speaking with expression. You can try speaking with a calm voice. You can try pausing. You can try different tones. Reading out loud is like lifting weights for your voice. It builds strength. It builds control. It builds confidence. Many people feel awkward practicing because they imagine someone judging them. But the truth is, no one is watching you. And even if someone hears you practicing, they will not judge you. Most people admire someone who works on improving themselves. Practicing alone is not embarrassing. It is powerful. Another simple strategy is recording yourself. Recording your voice helps you understand how you sound. At first you may feel uncomfortable hearing your own voice. That is normal. Most people feel that way. But listening to yourself teaches you important things. You learn what your pacing sounds like. You learn how your tone sounds. You learn where you need to improve. You also learn what you are already doing well. Recording yourself helps you see your growth. When you listen to old recordings, you will notice how much better you have become. Growth you cannot see is easy to ignore. But when you hear recordings from earlier, you realize how far you have come. This makes you feel proud. This motivates you to keep practicing. Another way to practice without feeling awkward is by practicing small pieces of speaking instead of entire speeches. You do not need to practice for long. You can practice for just 2 minutes. Practice introducing yourself. Practice saying your name with confidence. Practice greeting someone. Practice saying a short sentence slowly. Practice breathing before speaking. These tiny practices build strong habits. They make you more confident in small moments. Over time, small moments lead to big confidence. You can also practice speaking by describing things around you. Describe what you see in your room. Describe the weather. Describe what you feel. Describe what you think. Describing things helps your mind stay in the present. It helps your voice move without pressure. It helps your fluency grow naturally. Another helpful practice is speaking in front of a mirror. A mirror helps you see your posture. It helps you see your expressions. It helps you see your hand movements. It helps you become aware of your body language. Awareness is the first step to improvement. When you see yourself speaking, you learn what looks natural and what looks nervous. You learn how to relax your face. You learn how to smile naturally. You learn how to stand confidently. A mirror becomes your silent coach. Practicing in front of a mirror also removes fear because you practice being watched. Even though the mirror is not a real audience, your brain still sees a face watching you. This makes it great training. Your brain gets used to the feeling of attention. The more you practice this, the less fear you feel when real people watch you. Another way to practice speaking without awkwardness is speaking into the air while walking. Many people talk to themselves while walking and do not feel embarrassed. You can talk about your thoughts. You can talk about your plan. You can talk about something you want to explain. Walking while speaking helps you relax. Moving your body lowers anxiety. It makes your thinking flow more naturally. This is one of the easiest and most natural ways to train your speaking skills. Another helpful practice is pausing. Practice starting a sentence. Pause in the middle. Pause after finishing. This trains your breath. It trains your control. It trains your ability to stay calm, even in silence. Silence is one of the strongest parts of confident speaking. Practicing pausing helps you stay calm during real speeches. You can also practice by speaking to someone you trust. You do not need a large audience to improve. One person is enough. When you talk to someone calmly, you learn how to express yourself. You learn how to control your voice. You learn how to speak clearly. You learn how to react when someone is listening. Small conversations are powerful training. Another helpful technique is practicing visualization. Before you speak, imagine yourself speaking confidently. Imagine your voice strong. Imagine the audience listening. Imagine your posture relaxed. Visualization trains your brain, just like real practice. The brain cannot fully tell the difference between imagination and experience, so when you imagine success, your brain believes it. This builds confidence. Another important part of practicing every day is being patient with yourself. You will not become a confident speaker in one day. Growth takes time. But each day you practice, even for a short moment, you get better. You become stronger. You become calmer. You become more comfortable with your own voice. Daily practice builds consistency. Consistency builds confidence. Another truth is that practice must feel natural. If your practice feels forced, you will avoid it. But if your practice feels easy, you will want to continue. That is why small, simple practices are more important than huge, stressful ones. Speaking for 1 minute every day is better than speaking for an hour once a month. Confidence grows through repetition, not intensity. The goal of daily practice is not to sound perfect. The goal is to become comfortable with speaking. When something feels comfortable, fear disappears. When something feels familiar, anxiety fades. When something feels natural, confidence grows naturally. You can also practice speaking by teaching. Teach something you know. Teach a simple idea. Teach a skill. Teach a story. Teaching forces you to explain clearly. Teaching builds confidence. Teaching strengthens your voice. When you teach, your brain works harder. It organizes information. It finds the best words. It improves your communication. Another part of practicing every day is celebrating small wins. When you speak more clearly than before, celebrate it. When you speak more slowly than yesterday, celebrate it. When you feel even slightly more confident, celebrate it. Small wins create motivation. Motivation creates habits. Habits create confidence. One of the biggest secrets of daily practice is this: speak even when you do not feel ready. Just talk. Just express. Just try. You don't need to wait until you feel confident. Speaking creates confidence. Practice creates skill. Action creates courage. You grow by doing, not by waiting. Over time, daily practice turns speaking from something scary into something normal. Your voice becomes familiar. Your breath becomes calm. Your thoughts become organized. Your body becomes steady. Your confidence becomes deep. Speaking becomes just another part of your life. Daily practice is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about showing up. It is about slowly building a voice you trust. It is about becoming someone who can speak clearly anywhere, anytime. You will not feel awkward forever. The feeling goes away. Confidence takes its place. Speak every day. A little. A lot. Softly. Clearly. Alone. With others. To yourself. Out loud. Practice until speaking feels natural. Practice until your mouth moves smoothly. Practice until your voice feels strong. Practice until your confidence grows inside you, like a tree with deep roots. Because the more you speak, the less fear you feel. And one day, you will notice something powerful. Speaking no longer scares you. It excites you. It strengthens you. It becomes something you enjoy. That is the power of daily practice. Chapter 9: How to stay confident while speaking in front of others. Confidence is not something you feel only before you speak. Real confidence happens while you are speaking. Many people prepare well, practice well, and begin well. But the moment they see many faces looking at them, their fear returns. Their voice shakes. Their heart speeds up again. Their hands become stiff. Their thoughts become messy. They wonder what people are thinking. They wonder if they sound strange. They worry about making mistakes. Confidence suddenly disappears. But you must understand something important. Confidence during speaking is a skill. It is something you learn, just like preparing or practicing. You do not need a perfect speech to stay confident. You only need the right habits during speaking. When you learn how to stay calm while the audience watches you, your fear loses power. When you learn how to stay steady during speaking, you feel in control. Confidence comes from knowing what to do in the moment. The first step to staying confident while speaking is understanding that the audience is not judging you. Many people become nervous because they think the audience is waiting for them to fail. But this is not true. The audience is hoping you will succeed. They want to listen. They want to learn. They want to enjoy your message. Most people in the audience feel nervous themselves when they speak. So instead of judging you, they understand you. They support you silently. This truth makes speaking less scary. When you stand in front of others, your brain reacts because it sees many eyes. The eyes make you think you are being judged. But the audience is not judging. They are just listening. They are just watching. They are not thinking about every detail of your voice or body. They are thinking about your message. When you focus on the idea that the audience is friendly, your fear becomes smaller. Another important part of staying confident is controlling your pace. Nervous speakers talk too fast. They rush their words because they want to finish quickly, but rushing makes your mind panic. It makes your voice weak. It makes your breathing tight. It makes your message confusing. Slow speaking gives you control. Slow speaking gives your brain time to think. Slow speaking tells your body that you are safe. When you slow down, everything becomes easier. Your breath becomes smoother. Your voice becomes stronger. Your mind becomes clearer. Your thoughts organize themselves. Confidence grows from calmness, and calmness grows from slowing down. The audience also feels more comfortable when you speak slowly. They can understand you better. They feel more connected. Another important tool is eye contact. Eye contact does not mean staring at someone. It means gently looking around the room. Look at one person for a moment, then move your eyes to another area. This makes everyone feel included. It also helps you feel like you are having a conversation, not performing. Speaking feels easier when it feels like a conversation. Eye contact also shows confidence. When you look at your audience, your voice becomes stronger because your mind knows you are communicating, not hiding. Many people get scared when they look at faces, but you do not need to look directly into people's eyes. You can look at their forehead or nose. They will still feel like you are making eye contact. You will feel less pressure. This small trick helps your brain stay calm. Another part of staying confident is using pauses. Pauses are your friend. Pauses help you breathe. Pauses help you think. Pauses help the audience understand your message. Many nervous speakers fear pauses. They think silence means they forgot something. They think silence makes them look weak. But silence actually makes you look calm. Confident speakers use silence to show control. Silence creates power. Using pauses makes you sound thoughtful, not nervous. Another helpful habit is checking in with your body. When you speak, your body may become tense without you noticing. Your shoulders may rise, your jaw may tighten, your fists may clench. These reactions make you more nervous, but if you gently relax your shoulders, breathe slowly, loosen your jaw, and let your arms rest naturally, your body calms down. When your body relaxes, your mind relaxes. When your mind relaxes, your voice becomes confident. Your body language during speaking affects your confidence more than you think. If you stand stiff, fear grows. If you sway too much, fear grows. But when you stand grounded, with your feet steady and your shoulders relaxed, fear becomes smaller. Your posture tells your brain that everything is okay. It tells your mind that you are in control. Your body can calm your fear if you let it. Another powerful tool is smiling. A small, natural smile at the beginning of your speech releases tension. It makes you feel lighter. It makes the audience feel comfortable. A smile tells your brain that this moment is safe. It tells your body that you are not in danger. Smiling is not just being friendly. It is a tool to control your fear. One of the most important things to remember is that mistakes during speaking are normal. Even great speakers make mistakes. They lose their place. They mispronounce a word. They forget something. They say something differently than planned. These things happen to everyone. What matters is how you handle them. If you panic, the mistake grows. If you stay calm, the mistake disappears. If you forget something, take a small pause. Breathe. Look at your notes if you have them. Continue. If you say something wrong, correct yourself gently or move forward. The audience does not think it is a big deal. They understand. They are human too. Confident speakers are not the people who never make mistakes. Confident speakers are the people who do not crumble when mistakes happen. Another trick to staying confident is focusing on the message, not yourself. Nervous speakers think, how do I look? How do I sound? Are they judging me? These thoughts make fear stronger. Confident speakers think, what am I trying to say? What message do I want to share? How can I help the audience understand? When your mind focuses on the message, your fear becomes smaller. You forget about yourself. You feel more comfortable. Speaking becomes easier. Staying confident also requires staying present. Many people think about the future while speaking. They think, what if I forget the next point? They think, what if I make a mistake later? These thoughts pull your mind away from the moment. They make you panic. The best way to stay confident is to focus only on the current sentence. Speak one line at a time. Do not think about the whole speech. Do not think about the end. Just focus on the sentence you are saying right now. One sentence at a time creates calmness. Another powerful technique is grounding yourself. Grounding means feeling connected to the floor, to your body, and to the present moment. If you feel anxious, press your feet gently into the ground. Feel the floor supporting you. This simple action calms your nervous system. It reminds your brain that you are stable. Your body stops panicking. Grounding makes you feel safe. Another tool for staying confident while speaking is using your breath while talking. When you speak, take small breaths during pauses. Do not hold your breath. Holding your breath makes your voice weak. It makes your body tense. It makes your mind stressed. Breathing keeps your mind clear. Breathing gives your words strength. Breathing helps you speak for longer without losing control. Confidence also grows when you accept that speaking is not a performance. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to impress everyone. You do not need to sound like a professional speaker. You only need to be yourself. You only need to communicate your message clearly. When you accept this, the pressure becomes lighter. Your fear becomes smaller. Speaking becomes easier. Another part of staying confident in front of others is practicing reactions. If someone nods while you speak, smile and continue. If someone looks confused, explain a little more. If someone looks away, do not take it personally. People in the audience have their own thoughts, their own problems, their own distractions. Their faces do not mean they dislike your speech. Their expressions are not about you. When you stop taking audience faces personally, your fear fades. Another helpful idea is remembering that your voice sounds stronger from the outside than it feels inside. Many people think they sound shaky or soft, but the audience does not hear it the same way. They hear a much calmer, stronger voice. The gap between what you feel and what they hear is large. This truth should give you comfort. Even when you feel nervous, you sound better than you think. Confidence during speaking also grows with experience. The more you speak in front of others, the more familiar the feeling becomes. At first, it feels scary. Later, it feels normal. After enough practice, it feels comfortable. Then, one day, you will notice something surprising. When you stand in front of people, you no longer feel fear. You feel excitement. You feel energy. You feel strong. You feel ready. Staying confident while speaking is not about removing fear. It is about managing it. It is about understanding it. It is about breathing through it. It is about focusing on your message. It is about trusting yourself. Confidence comes from staying calm in the moment. Confidence comes from small habits practiced every day. Confidence comes from believing that you can continue even when you feel nervous. Confidence is something you build while speaking. It grows sentence by sentence. It grows breath by breath. It grows moment by moment. And the more you practice speaking in front of others, the more your confidence becomes natural. The fear becomes smaller. The calmness becomes stronger. Your voice becomes clearer. Your presence becomes sharper. You become someone who can speak in any room, in front of anyone, with steady confidence. Chapter 10. How to recover when things go wrong. Every speaker, no matter how confident they seem, has moments when things do not go as planned. Maybe they forget what they wanted to say. Maybe their voice shakes. Maybe they mispronounce a word. Maybe someone interrupts. Maybe their mind suddenly goes blank. Every speaker faces these moments. But what makes someone truly confident is not avoiding mistakes. It is knowing how to recover when mistakes happen. The best speakers in the world are not perfect. They are just calm when things go wrong. The truth is, mistakes do not ruin your speech. Mistakes are normal. Mistakes are human. Mistakes are part of speaking. The audience does not expect you to be perfect. They expect you to be real. They expect you to keep going even when things feel difficult. They expect you to trust yourself. When you learn how to recover smoothly, mistakes lose their power. Most people fear speaking because they imagine failure. They imagine standing in front of others and forgetting everything. They imagine freezing. They imagine making a mistake and everyone laughing. But this fear grows because they never learn the truth. Mistakes are not the end. Mistakes are just moments. You can move past them. You can continue. You can recover. The first step in recovering from a mistake is not panicking. Panic is what turns a small mistake into a big one. When your mind panics, your thoughts scatter, your breath becomes tight, your body freezes. But if you stay calm, even for 1 second, the mistake becomes small. It becomes manageable. Calmness keeps your mind open. Calmness helps you think. Calmness helps you continue. Imagine you are speaking and suddenly forget your next sentence. If you panic, the fear will grow. But if you pause, breathe, and give yourself a moment, your mind will reconnect. Your brain is not broken. It just needs space. A calm pause is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of control. The audience does not think you forgot. They think you are thinking. A pause can hide your mistake. Another important part of recovering is being kind to yourself. Many speakers attack themselves inside their head when they make a mistake. They think, I ruined everything, or everyone is judging me, or I should stop talking. These thoughts make the mistake feel bigger than it is. They make your confidence drop. But if you say to yourself, it's okay, or this happens to everyone, your mind stays calm. Your confidence stays alive. Your self-talk shapes your recovery. If you tell yourself you can continue, you will. If you tell yourself you are failing, you will freeze. Confidence comes from gentle thoughts. Harsh thoughts create fear. The way you speak to yourself matters as much as the way you speak to the audience. Another way to recover is to restate your last idea. If you lose your place, simply repeat your previous sentence. This gives your brain time to catch up. Repeating a sentence does not look like a mistake. It looks like emphasis. It looks like intention. It looks like you are clarifying your message. The audience appreciates repetition because it helps them understand better. Sometimes you might mispronounce a word. Nervous speakers panic when this happens. They apologize too much. They become flustered. But confident speakers either correct the word calmly or move on. Mispronunciations are normal. They do not make you look weak. They do not change your message. Even teachers, actors, and leaders mispronounce words sometimes. What matters is continuing with steady energy. Another common mistake is speaking too fast. Your nerves push you to rush. You realize you are rushing and panic more. But instead of panicking, just slow down. Take one deep breath. Start your next sentence slowly. The audience will not judge you for adjusting your pace. They will appreciate the clarity. Pausing and slowing down makes you look more confident, not less. You might also face interruptions. Someone may ask a question before you finish. Someone may walk in late. Something may fall or make noise. These interruptions do not destroy your speech unless you let them. Confident speakers stay calm. They smile gently. They pause. Then they continue. The interruption becomes a small moment, not a big problem. If the interruption requires attention, address it quickly and return to your message. Your ability to continue shows strength. Sometimes your mind may go completely blank. This can feel terrifying. Your thoughts disappear. Your memory disappears. Your body freezes. But even in this moment, you can recover. Do not fight the blankness. Fighting makes it worse. Instead, take a slow breath. Look at your notes if you have them. Look at the audience with a gentle smile. Then start again from the main idea. You do not need to remember the exact sentence. The audience does not know your script. They do not know what you plan to say. Only you know. So any sentence you choose to continue with is correct. Another helpful tool is having simple recovery phrases ready in your mind. Phrases like, let me explain that again, or what I mean is this, or let's take a moment to look at this clearly. Help your brain restart. These phrases give you time. They give your audience clarity. They give your mind direction. They act like bridges that connect your thoughts. Sometimes a mistake can even make your speech better. When you recover naturally, the audience sees your confidence. They see your humanity. They feel closer to you. They trust you more. A perfect speech can feel cold. A human speech feels real. Mistakes make you relatable. They make you authentic. Audiences love authentic speakers. Another important truth is that most mistakes seem much bigger to you than they do to the audience. What feels huge inside your mind looks tiny to them. You feel the mistake deeply because you know your plan, but they do. They only know what they hear. They do not know what you meant to say. They do not know your outline. They do not know your timing. So when something goes wrong, they rarely notice. And even if they do, they quickly move on. The audience does not hold on to your mistakes. Only you do. One of the most powerful tools for recovery is humor. Not forced jokes, not acting silly, just a gentle smile or a calm comment, like "let me try that again," can make the moment feel light. Humor reduces tension. It makes the moment human. It shows you are comfortable with yourself. But humor must be natural. If you do not feel like making a comment, simply smile and continue. Another part of recovery is staying connected to your breath. Fear makes your breathing fast. Fast breathing makes your thoughts messy. When something goes wrong, your breath becomes your anchor. Take one slow breath. Feel your body calm down. Your breath resets your mind. It reminds you that you are safe. It gives you strength to continue. Your confidence also grows when you prepare yourself mentally before speaking. Instead of thinking, "I hope nothing goes wrong," think, "If something goes wrong, I can handle it." This prepares your mind for reality. It removes fear. It creates resilience. When you expect challenges instead of fearing them, you become stronger. Recovering also becomes easier when you trust your message. When you truly believe in what you are saying, you can continue smoothly even if something unexpected happens. Your message gives you direction. Your message gives you purpose. Purpose is stronger than fear. When you focus on your purpose, mistakes fade. Another important part of recovery is remembering that speaking is not a test. You are not being graded. You are not being judged. You are sharing your ideas. You are expressing yourself. When you see speaking as sharing, mistakes feel less scary. Sharing does not need to be perfect. Sharing needs to be honest. One powerful truth is this: confidence does not come from doing everything correctly. Confidence comes from knowing you can continue even when things go wrong. People respect speakers who stay calm during trouble. They admire speakers who recover gently. They connect with speakers who show strength in difficult moments. You will become one of those speakers. You will learn to breathe through fear. You will learn to smile through mistakes. You will learn to continue calmly. Each time you recover, your confidence grows. Each time something unexpected happens and you handle it, you become stronger. Recovery is not failure. Recovery is success. Recovery is courage. Recovery is confidence in action. One day, you will speak in front of others and something will go wrong. But instead of freezing, instead of panicking, instead of losing control, you will breathe. You will pause. You will continue. The mistake will pass like a small wave, and you will remain standing strong, like a calm ocean beneath it. That is the power of recovery. That is the heart of true confidence. Chapter 11. How to speak with natural flow and clear thoughts. Speaking confidently is not only about staying calm. It is not only about having a strong voice or good body language. A big part of confident speaking is learning how to speak with a natural flow. Natural flow means your words come out smoothly, your thoughts connect easily, and your speech feels clear. When you have natural flow, speaking feels lighter. Your mind feels open, your voice feels steady, you feel like you are talking to a friend instead of performing on a stage. Natural flow makes speaking enjoyable, but most people struggle with flow. They feel stuck. They feel stiff. Their speech feels forced. Their thoughts feel tangled. They speak in short, broken sentences. They stop too much. They rush too much. They sound nervous even when they do not want to. This happens because they never learned how to let their thoughts and words move together. Natural flow is not something that happens by accident. It is something you learn, something you practice, and something you grow into. The first step to improving your flow is understanding that speaking is thinking out loud. If your thinking is messy, your speaking becomes messy. If your thinking is clear, your speaking becomes clear. You cannot speak smoothly if your mind is filled with worry, fear, or confusion. That is why the calmness you learned in earlier chapters is so important. A calm mind creates smooth words. A stressed mind creates broken words. Before you speak, your thoughts must feel organized. Not memorized, but organized. You should know the idea, not the exact sentence. When you know the idea, your mind finds the sentences naturally. When you try to memorize exact sentences, your flow becomes stiff. Your brain becomes busy trying to recall each word instead of expressing ideas. That is why memorized speeches often sound robotic. They sound forced. The speaker is not thinking, they are repeating. Speaking with natural flow is like having a conversation. In a conversation, you do not memorize words. You just speak. You speak because you understand what you want to say. You speak because you feel the message. You speak because your mind knows the story. That is how natural flow begins. By shifting from "I must say this exactly right" to "I know what I want to say." Another important part of flow is staying connected to the present moment. When you speak, your mind sometimes jumps ahead. You think about the next sentence. You think about the next idea. You think about something you are afraid of. But this makes your flow break. You start rushing. You start losing your place. Your voice becomes tense. Flow comes from speaking one sentence at a time, one idea at a time, one breath at a time. The present moment is small and simple. It is not scary. It is not heavy. It only holds the words you are saying right now. When you stay in the present, your flow becomes natural. Another key to natural flow is pacing. Many people think talking fast makes them sound smart, but talking fast makes your flow weak. It makes your speech hard to understand. It makes your breath short. It makes your mind panic. Speaking slowly is not boring. Speaking slowly is powerful. It gives your mind time to form thoughts. It gives your voice time to breathe. It gives your listeners time to understand. Flow needs space. Fast speaking removes space. Slow speaking creates it. Pausing also helps flow. Pauses give your brain a moment to reset. They help your thoughts line up. They help your voice stay steady. They help your audience follow along. Some people fear pauses, but pauses are a natural part of conversation. They make your flow feel more human. They make you sound more thoughtful. When you use pauses calmly, your flow becomes smoother. Another way to create natural flow is speaking with emotion. Emotion guides your voice. Emotion gives your words energy. Emotion makes your speech alive. When you feel your message, you speak more naturally. You do not sound stiff. You sound connected. You sound real. The audience feels your sincerity when your voice has emotion. Flow also improves when you use simple words. You do not need complicated vocabulary to sound smart. Simple words are easier to say. They are easier to understand. They move smoothly. Big words slow your mind. Big words make you pause or stumble. When you use simple language, your flow becomes clear. Another helpful technique is imagining you are speaking to one person, not a crowd. When you think of a crowd, your mind feels pressure. But when you think of one person, your flow becomes natural. You relax. You speak more softly. You speak more clearly. Speaking becomes a conversation, not a performance. Natural flow also comes from trusting your brain. Many people try to force their thoughts. They worry about forgetting. They worry about being perfect. They worry about sounding good. This pressure interrupts their flow. But if you trust that your brain will find the right words, your flow becomes smoother. Your brain has spoken thousands of sentences in your life. It knows how to form words. You must trust that it will work when you speak in public too. Another key is practicing speaking out loud often. Flow comes from repetition. The more you speak, the more natural it feels. The more you express ideas, the more your brain learns how to move from one thought to another without pressure. Daily speaking practice makes flow second nature. Reading out loud also helps because it trains your mouth to move smoothly. It trains your voice to stay steady. It trains your breath to stay calm. Recording yourself is another powerful way to improve flow. When you listen to a recording, you can hear where your flow breaks. You can hear where you sound stiff or rushed. You can hear where your voice sounds calm. This awareness helps you adjust. It helps you grow. It helps you learn what feels natural. Another way to build flow is summarizing ideas. Summarizing forces your brain to organize information into simple lines. For example, take a long thought and shorten it. Take a complicated idea and explain it simply. When you summarize, you train your brain to speak clearly. Clear thinking leads to clear speaking. Flow also improves when you remove pressure. Pressure kills flow. Pressure makes your mind freeze. Pressure makes speaking feel like a test. But speaking is not a test. It is communication. It is sharing. It is expression. When you remind yourself that you are simply sharing ideas, not performing, the pressure fades. Your flow becomes smoother. Another part of natural flow is body movement. When your body is relaxed, your voice relaxes. When your shoulders drop, your breath deepens. When your jaw relaxes, your words flow more smoothly. Body tension interrupts flow. Body relaxation supports flow. That is why stretching, deep breathing, and gentle movement before speaking help you find your rhythm. Flow also depends on confidence in your message. When you believe in what you are saying, you speak more naturally. Passion removes fear. Purpose removes hesitation. When your heart connects with your words, the flow becomes effortless. Sometimes flow breaks when you forget a word, but forgetting does not ruin your speech. You can use another word. You can explain the idea differently. You can pause and continue. Flow does not die because of one forgotten word. Flow continues as long as you continue. Another powerful truth is that flow improves with patience. You will not have perfect flow in one day. You may not have perfect flow in 1 week, but every day you speak, your flow gets better. Your brain learns how to organize thoughts. Your voice learns how to stay steady. Your body learns how to stay relaxed. Flow is built slowly, like a river forming over time. One day, after practicing gently and consistently, you will start speaking, and something will feel different. Your words will feel smoother. Your thoughts will feel clearer. Your voice will feel natural. You will feel like yourself. That is the moment when natural flow becomes real. Flow is not about perfection. It is about comfort. It is about clarity. It is about staying connected to your thoughts and your voice. It is about speaking like yourself, calm, clear, and confident. And once you learn how to speak with natural flow, speaking in public will no longer feel scary. It will feel like having a conversation with many friends at once. Chapter 12: Becoming the person who never gets nervous again. Confidence is not something that appears in one moment. It grows slowly, like a seed becoming a plant. It grows each time you practice. It grows each time you face your fear. It grows each time you speak, even when you feel nervous. Over time, that seed becomes something strong, something steady, something powerful. That is how you become the kind of person who does not get nervous anymore when speaking in public. Not because your fear magically disappears, but because you learn how to control it. You learn how to stay calm even when your body reacts. You learn how to trust yourself. The truth is, no one becomes fearless overnight. Even confident speakers once felt nervous. They stood where you stand now. They felt the same shaking hands, the same dry throat, the same racing heart. But they decided not to let those feelings stop them. They decided to keep speaking anyway. Each time they spoke, the fear became smaller. Each time they pushed through, their strength grew. That is how confidence is built. To become someone who never gets nervous again, you must first understand that nervousness is not your enemy. It is just energy. It is just your body preparing you for something important. Nervousness becomes a problem only when you fear it. When you accept it, it loses power. When you understand it, it becomes something you can manage. You must learn to trust your own voice. You must believe that your voice will not break. You must believe that your mind will not fail. You must believe that if something unexpected happens, you can handle it. Trust is the foundation of fearlessness. When you trust yourself, fear becomes quiet. When you doubt yourself, fear becomes loud. Think about all the times in your life when you have spoken clearly in front of someone. You talk to your friends without fear. You talk to your family without fear. You talk to strangers, sometimes without fear. You have already spoken thousands of sentences in your life. Your voice already knows how to communicate. Your brain already knows how to create sentences. You are not learning a new skill. You are simply learning how to stay calm while using a skill you already have. To become someone who never gets nervous again, you must learn to handle the moment when your body reacts. That moment when your heart speeds up. That moment when your mouth feels dry. That moment when your breath becomes quick. Many people panic in that moment. They think something is wrong, but nothing is wrong. Your body is just reacting. It always reacts in new or important situations. It is natural. When you accept these reactions instead of fearing them, your mind becomes calm. When you take one deep breath, your body listens, your heart listens, your mind listens. Your breath tells your brain, I am safe, and your brain begins to calm down. Your breath is your strongest tool. You can use it anytime, anywhere, without anyone noticing. One slow inhale and one slow exhale can change everything. To become someone who does not get nervous, you must also learn how to focus your mind. Nervous speakers focus on thumbs. They think, what if I make a mistake? Or, what if they judge me? These thoughts create fear, but confident speakers focus on their message. They think, what do I want to say? They think, how can I help the audience understand? They think, how do I share this clearly? When your mind focuses on the message, fear fades. Your mind can only hold one main thought at a time. If that thought is fear, fear grows. If that thought is your message, confidence grows. Where your focus goes, your confidence follows. You must also learn how to slow down. Nervous speakers rush, their minds rush, their words rush, their bodies rush, but confident speakers take their time. They speak slowly. They breathe slowly. They move slowly. Slow speaking gives you control. Slow speaking gives your mind time to form ideas. Slow speaking makes you sound calm, even if you feel a little nervous inside. When you slow down, you take control away from fear and give it back to yourself. Another powerful part of becoming someone who never gets nervous is believing that the audience is not against you. When you stand in front of people, it is easy to imagine them judging you. But most people in the audience feel nervous themselves. They admire your courage. They want you to succeed. They want you to do well. The audience is not your enemy. They are not waiting for you to fail. They are waiting to hear what you have to say. When you understand this, you stop fearing them. Another important part of becoming fearless is being okay with making mistakes. Mistakes will happen. You might forget a word. You might lose your place. You might mispronounce something, but mistakes do not ruin your speech. Mistakes do not make you weak. Mistakes do not make you look foolish. What matters is how you respond. If you stay calm and keep going, the audience will not care. They may not even notice. Mistakes are only scary when you fear them. When you accept them, they become small. Recovery is a sign of confidence. It shows strength. It shows control. When you know you can recover from anything, nervousness cannot control you anymore. Another way to become fearless is by practicing speaking often. Speaking is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first time you speak in front of others, you may feel very nervous. The second time, you may still feel nervous. But the third time feels easier. The 10th time feels even easier. The 20th time feels almost natural. Practice turns fear into familiarity. Familiarity turns fear into ease. Speak every day. Speak to yourself. Speak when no one is watching. Speak when one person is watching. Speak when a few people are watching. Speak even when you feel nervous. Especially when you feel nervous. Every time you speak, you teach your brain that speaking is safe. You train your voice. You train your mind. You train your confidence. Fear fades with repetition. Another powerful thing to remember is that you do not need to feel confident to act confident. Acting confident creates real confidence. When you stand tall, your mind feels stronger. When you breathe slowly, your body feels calmer. When you speak clearly, your fear becomes quieter. Your body teaches your mind. Your actions create your feelings. You become confident by behaving confidently. Over time, these small actions create a new version of yourself, a version who does not shake, a version who does not freeze, a version who does not doubt their voice, a version who enjoys speaking, a version who steps forward instead of hiding. This version already exists inside you. You are simply unlocking it. Another part of becoming someone who never gets nervous is embracing silence. Nervous speakers fear silence because they think it shows weakness, but confident speakers use silence for strength. Silence shows control. Silence shows thoughtfulness. Silence gives meaning. Silence gives space. When you learn to be comfortable in silence, nervousness loses its power, because silence is where confidence breathes. You must also learn to see yourself differently. See yourself as someone worthy of speaking. See yourself as someone with valuable ideas. See yourself as someone people want to listen to. When you change the way you see yourself, everything changes. Confidence starts with identity. When you identify yourself as a strong speaker, your mind begins to act like one. Another truth is that fear cannot survive when you face it repeatedly. Each time you speak, the fear weakens. Each time you speak, the nervousness becomes lighter. Each time you speak, your strength becomes bigger. Fear tries to grow in silence. Confidence grows in action. One day, after practicing, learning, and growing, you will stand in front of people and feel something new. You will feel calm. You will feel steady. You will feel ready. Your voice will feel clear. Your breath will feel smooth. Your thoughts will feel organized. Your body will feel relaxed, and you will realize something powerful. You are no longer nervous. Not because fear disappeared, but because you became stronger than it. You learned how to breathe through it. You learned how to think through it. You learned how to speak through it. You mastered it. And that is what it means to become the person who never gets nervous again. You do not avoid fear. You rise above it. You do not hide from speaking. You step into it. You do not let fear control you. You control the fear. You become someone who speaks with clarity, calmness, and confidence. Someone who others admire. Someone who inspires. someone who leads. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new version of yourself, a version who speaks boldly, a version who speaks clearly, a version who speaks without fear, a version who speaks like someone who believes in their own voice. And from this point forward, every time you speak, you will grow stronger. Every time you share your thoughts, you will grow more confident. Every time you stand in front of others, you will prove to yourself that you are capable of anything. You are now becoming the person who never gets nervous again.